Ubisoft just released some new gameplay and their PC features trailer at Gamescom for Skull and Bones. I've heard this is gold, so I should probably react to it. Oh god, I'm actually terrified. So all of this looks like it's pretty much just cutscenes. We've been tricked by gameplay before, Ubisoft. You can't tell us that this is the actual game, right? Oh god, are they promoting 4K as a feature? This is the features trailer, right? So no, wait. I have to pause here. Skull and Bones PC features trailer. This is on the Ubisoft official channel. Aren't fully customizable graphic settings and stuff like DLSS things to be expected? Ubisoft's first thing that they say in their features trailer is that it's 4K HDR. But not only is that stating something that is in pretty much every PC game to date, but that's actually revealing that this isn't in the console versions. You know, PS5 and Xbox Series X stuff that is possible to have 4K HDR now. I also don't think it's a feature to have uncapped FPS. Every Unity game can have uncapped FPS. It's a simple switch. How is this a feature? We want to know what the game is. So we currently know that this is going to be like every other PC game ever in terms of what it can actually do with 4K, with DLSS. Oh my word. Okay, we have some game. Oh no, it's customization of the graphics. Oh, is it customization of the character? You're now showing character customization. The problem is, this looks absolutely awesome, and I think many people would agree that this looks cool, and they'd love this type of game. But we've seen some of the gameplay, and it does look nothing like this. This tagline is going to become really ironic, I think, for this title, Long Live Piracy. The irony might start to kick in and bite them back here. Oh god. I think this is actually the main sentiment here. If we're going to be less negative, people, including me, are still hoping this is going to be a good game, but we need to see some actual proper gameplay that looks like the pirate game that we were initially promoted. Then, not long after, IGN, of course, released their new bit of information about Skull and Bones. It shows us some new gameplay and, of course, new cutscenes, because it wouldn't be a Ubisoft's trailer or gameplay showcase without most of it being pre-rendered cutscenes. So, how does the game work? You sail around in your ships that you have built up from nothing. You start with relatively little, and as you do quests and contracts, you can get upgrades and, of course, gain more money. There will be safe areas where you can't be attacked by other players, and this is where you go for to get said contracts. This will be anything from hunting things down to attacking other ships to taking cargo from one place to another. You will eventually, if you get enough renown, gain your own pirate lair, somewhere that I'm hoping you can upgrade and introduce other elements too as the game goes on. You can, in this layer, manufacture your own goods to trade and even smuggle, getting better weaponry and better armor for your ships. I'm really terrified about the amount of customization. Now, that might sound like a strange thing to say, but we know Ubisoft. This game's main focus is not really being a pirate. It's customizing your ship, and that can only lead to one thing: microtransactions. Of course, if you want to get more resources and complete quests, you can still board other ships to steal treasures. Sounds cool, right? Well, we've already seen that boarding ships consist of cutscenes. A little bit disappointing, but hey-ho. The maps for treasure hunting do look very similar to the maps that we saw in a game like Black Flag. A little X on the spot and a few clues in order to give you the general direction. The size of the map and its pure scale is yet to be revealed, but from the way they're talking about it, it's the Indian Ocean. You can go anywhere from small islands out in the middle to even close to mainland Africa, and that could be quite exciting. They've also said that this is going to affect the terrain and how the water works, with full water mesh systems that should be dynamically changing depending on certain elements within the game. Speaking of elements within the game, you'll be finding treasure and cargo, but this will all affect the weight of your ships. The weight of the cargo and the wind direction is going to be a big part of mastering sailing, and I actually really like it. Having to weigh up whether you want to take more booty, or if you get too greedy, it's going to slow you down. Then you could be chased by another player or AI that wants some of that goodness. This is one of the first things that has given me some hope for this game, that Ubisoft still have some real direction with the gameplay rather than just focusing on the weird and wacky ship customizations that we've been shown. They have mentioned, however, it's not going to be very realistic, which is a bit disappointing. I would have rather they'd gone more realistic than what we've seen in gameplay, because it seems to lean too much to the arcadey side, but I'm trying to be more impartial here. And whilst it's very obvious that I've been disappointed with everything we've been shown so far, there is still a little bit of hope that this game could be decent. There is, of course, a full weather system. Whether it's light rain or full storms, it should feel dynamic as the storm rolls in, covering everything in darkness, making it actually kind of hard, and visibility will be much less for seeing enemy vessels. This could be interesting. But what do the storms actually do? Well, they can actually damage your ship as well if you don't learn to sail in them right. I'm assuming it's similar to the way it worked in Black Flag, where if a storm hits you and a big wave slams into the side of your ship, you're going to take damage. So you've got to go straight over and face the wave head on. I really like the fact that you're going to have to change the way that you sail, correlating towards the dynamic changing of the weather within the game. That is very, very promising. I'm looking forward to seeing some more gameplay of these storms, just seeing exactly how they work and how much of a real effect that they're going to have and how often they're going to come up as part of the gameplay loop itself. They're also claiming that terrain and wind will affect the water and its level. For example, if you go into a cove and the shore, there's going to be much less wind. It's going to be much easier to navigate, and you might even be able to lose some foes there because you'll be able to move a bit faster. But out in the open ocean, it's going to be stormy if you're not careful on the worst of days, so looking after your ship is of paramount importance. I think the game itself has a lot of potential. There's a whole leveling up system, from being a freebooter to finally a captain with hundreds of cannons on your galleon. You could be a dangerous navigator of the seas, and everybody could be terrified of you once you gain up your renown. I'm interested to see how it's going to affect with the AI in the game relating to real players. Is there going to be much interaction with other people, or is it just going to be fighting them if you come across them in the water? Because sometimes if you don't give people an incentive to work together, I mean, they definitely won't. It will just be a mess of getting killed time after time when you're trying to go through missions. And we're also talking about the longevity of this title. Content is key, and just doing normal missions, finding treasure, delivering cargo, finding and taking out forts are cool features, but they're not going to last forever. There needs to be something else, and it doesn't seem like there's really any story within the title itself. More content could be added in later, but that's not going to be good enough. There needs to be a solid amount of game when it finally releases. People have been waiting for Skull and Bones for a long time, and whilst I think the disappointment has been very clear from the fans, there is still some hope, and I still think the game will do pretty well at launch because people are hoping that this would be good. People really love pirate games, and whilst it is a shame that this looks to be a pirate game without any sword fighting or proper boarding of ships, you know, most of the actual pirate stuff, I think people are still going to actually flood into this game. Will it be worth it? I guess only time will tell. The sentiment around this title, though, is as follows. People want a new pirate game, especially one that was based off Assassin's Creed Black Flag, a very promising title that really hyped people up for this standalone version. However, more and more that has come out, and the skepticism about the delays and reworking of the title in the past has got people incredibly worried, and if not angry. But let me know what you think. Are you still like me and holding out a little bit of hope? Leave a comment down below. But until then, I will see you in the next one.